okay, I know my father's watching, and I know he would tell me, be strong, Sam, you got this, be strong. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. So we're gathered here today to honor my father, Sammy Torado. My dad was a boxer by trade. When I was a little girl, whenever I would get in trouble, he'd tell me to take out the gloves. We'd fight, and he always let me win. I loved getting in trouble, so I could have that time with my dad. My dad also drove a tow truck. I remember driving around with him while he picked up cars. One time, we had been out for several hours, and I accidentally peed in his truck. I must have been around 4 or 5. I was so scared he'd be mad at me, but he wasn't. He always treated me with patience and love. He was kind and generous, always buying ice cream for the neighborhood kids. But my father was no punk. He was respected on the streets, and I got street cred for being Sammy's daughter. He never did meet any of my boyfriends. They were always too scared. When I was 16 years old, I was walking home from the train station. It was a hot summer day, and I wore a sundress. Some guy on a bike grabbed my backside. By the time I got to the block, I was crying hysterically. Bobby was playing dominoes when he saw me and ran to me. Sam, what's wrong? He said. I told him what had happened and described the bike and what the guy was wearing. A white Mexico shirt with a big circle on the back of it. He calmly told me, go upstairs to your mother's house and give me 1 hour. Less than an hour later, there was a knock on the door. Is this the shirt? He asked, holding up the shirt the man on the bike had worn. It was then that I realized the depths of my father's love. Years later, I told him I was having a baby. I was a single unwed mother. I was afraid he would be mad at me, but he hugged me tight and told me he loved me. And I loved him right back. Dad, you're so handsome. Don't call me, I ain't got no money, he'd say. I love you, Dad. You think I don't know that? He'd reply. My father was my world. I have been Daddy's little girl for as long as I can remember. I loved to brag about him, and I was so proud to be his daughter. Later on, I learned that he was equally proud of me. He loved to tell people that I had passed the bar exam and was an attorney. When he got the diagnosis, I was ready to fight alongside him. Even though our time together was limited, I am forever grateful that he chose me to care for him. I had the privilege of giving him his meds, feeding him, taking him to appointments, and watching his favorite show, Mom, with him. I'm thankful he trusted me enough to move out to Colorado with me. Every day he fought and showed me just how strong he was, and he made me strong too. What are we, Dad? Fighters. And fighters never quit, he'd say with that smile that lit up a room. My dad loved his family, baseball, Fox News, and Donald Trump. Why? I'll never know. But that was his buddy. He often talked about their interactions in his boxing days with legendary boxer, the late Hector Macho Camacho, his best friend. 24 hours before he passed, my father's sense of humor was still intact. Theo, are you hungry? My cousin Erica asked him. No response. Theo, are you thirsty? No response. Theo, are you cold and need a shirt? No response. Do you just want us to shut up? He vigorously nodded his head up and down. At the hospital, a Catholic priest prayed over him. When he left, my dad opened his eyes really big and asked, am I dead yet? My father's light was dimmed way too soon. At 61, he still had so much life to live. I will never understand why God took him from us, but I take comfort in knowing he is no longer in pain and is with both of my grandmothers and his best friend Camacho in heaven. I really hope he knows how much he was loved here on earth. Thank you for being here to celebrate my father's legacy. Thank you to the family from Florida and New York that came out. Special thanks to my cousin Erica. I don't know what I would have done without her throughout the process. Thank you to my Aunt Julie and Ralphie for moving out here from Florida to be here with my dad to help me. Being Sammy Toronto's daughter was a privilege. I will never forget my dad, and he will never forget all of you. Thank you all, and may God bless you.
You'd be proud. You've done good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
At this time, we'll have